Can you please put your hands together for the said Jim Scobie?
I'm going to do something very traditional, and just one short poem, and it's got something to do with why we're here, the horses, and the Snake Gully Cup winner maybe, and the hair of the dog winner, the tough horses, the tough people that were around that actually made our great land that we live in. And it's just a poem by A.B. Patterson. And this is for our friend in the middle here, Sheridan Room, and he loves this poem. That's for him. Oh no, Dave Ballard is his name, I'm sure. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a great poem, I enjoy doing it. There was movement at the station, for the word had passed around that the colt, from all regret, had got away. He joined the wild bush horses. He was worth £1,000. So all the crowds had gathered to the fray. All the tried and noted riders from the stations near and far had gathered at the homestead overnight. For the bushmen who love hard riding where the wild horses are, and the stock horse snuffs the battle with delight. There was Harrison, the old man. His hair was white as snow. He made his pile when Pardon won the cup, but few could ride beside him when his blood was fairly up and go wherever man and horse could go. And Clancy of the Overflow came down to lend a hand. No better horseman ever held the reins. No horse could ever throw him, while his girth straps would stand. And he learned to ride while drove him on the plains. And there was one, a stripling on a thin and weedy beast, something like a racehorse undersize. A touch of Timor pony, 3 parts thoroughbred at least, and such as are by mountain men prized. He was tough, hard and wiry, just the sort that won't say die. There was courage in his quick and patient tread, and he bore a badge of gameness in his bright and fiery eye, and in the carriage of his proud and lofty head. But still, so slight and weedy, one would doubt his power to stay. And the old man said, "This horse will never do for a long and tiring gallop. Lad, it's best you stay away. These hills are far too rough for one such as you." So he waited, sad and wistful. Only Clancy stood his friend. "I think you ought to let him come along," he said. "I warrant he'll be with us when he's wanted at the end, for he and his horse, both are mountain bred. They hail from Snowy River down by Kosciuszko side, where the hills are twice as steep and twice as rough, and the horses' hooves strike firelight from the flintstones every stride, and a man who can hold his own is good enough. And those Snowy River riders on those mountains make their home, where the rivers run those huge hills in between. And I've seen full many horsemen since I began to roam, but never yet such horsemen have I seen." So he went. They found the horses down by the old Mimosa Club, and they raced away towards the mountain's brow. And the old man gave his orders. "Boys, go get 'em from the jump, no good of any fancy riding now. And Clancy, you must wheel them to the right. Ride boldly, lad, and never fear the spills, because never yet has rider kept that mob in sight once they've gained the shelter of those hills." So Clancy rode to Wheeling. He was riding on the wing, where all the best and boldest riders take their place. and he raced his stock horse past them, and he made the rangers ring with his stock whip as he met them face to face. And they halted for a moment while he swung the dreaded lash, but they saw their well-loved mountains full in view, and they charged beneath the stock whip in a sharp and sudden dash, and off into the mountain scrub they flew. Well, fast the horsemen followed, where the ranges deep and black resounded to the thunder of their tread, and the stock whips woke the echoes that fiercely answered back from the cliffs and crags that beetled overhead. And upwards, forever upwards, the wild horses held their way, where the mountain ash and Currajong grew wide. And the old man muttered fiercely, "You may bid this mob good day. No man can hold him down the other side." And when they reached the mountain summit, even Clancy took a pull that made the boldest riders take a breath. And the wild hop scrub grew thickly, and the hidden ground was full of wombat holes. And he slipped his death. But the man from Snowy River, he let his pony have its head. He swung his whip around and he let out a cheer, and he raced him down the mountain like a torrent down its bed. And all the rest looked on in very fear. He sent the flintstones flying, but the pony kept his feet. He cleared the fallen timber in a stride. And the man from Snowy River never shifted in his seat. It was grand to see that mountain horseman ride through the stringy bark and saplings, across the rough, unbroken ground, down the hillside. At a racing pace he went, and he never drew the bridle till he landed, safe and sound, at the bottom of that terrible descent. Well, he was right among the horses as they cleared the further hill, and the watchers on the mountain were standing mute. They saw him ply the stock whip freely. He was right among them still as he raced across the clearing in pursuit. And they lost him for a moment, where two mountain gullies met in the ranges, but a final glimpse reveals, on a dim and distant hillside, the wild horses racing yet with the man from Snowy River at their heels. Well, he ran them single-handed till their sides were white with foam. He followed like a bloodhound on their tracks, until they halted, cowed and beaten. And he turned their heads for home, and alone and unassisted brought them back. Well, his hardy mountain pony, he could barely raise a trot. He was blood from hip to shoulder from the spur. But his pluck was still undaunted, his courage fiery hot. Because never yet was a mountain horse occur. And down by Kosciuszko, where the pine-clad ridges raise their torn and rugged battlements on high, and the air is as clear as crystal at midnight in a cold and frosty sky. And down around the overflow, where the reed beds sweep and sway to the breezes, and the open plains are wide. The man from Snowy River is a household name today, and the stock tell the story of his ride. Thank you for